Welcome to PropTech Pulse, the podcast that takes the pulse of prop technology in multifamily. I'm your host, Shelly Robinson, and each week we'll be diving deep into innovations, challenges, and the future of work in property technology and multifamily. From AI-driven property management to blockchain and real estate, we're here to explore how technology is reshaping the way we live, work, and invest in multifamily communities. Whether you're a property manager, a tech entrepreneur, an executive, or even simply curious about the future of living spaces, PropTech Pulse is your weekly dose of insights and inspiration. So let's sync our rhythms and get on with the show. It's time to take the pulse. Welcome to PropTech Pulse. Today I have Julie Blanc with me. Julie, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well. It's so nice to see you.
You as well. I was so excited that I met you at Apartmentalize a couple of weeks ago and that you were interested in coming on to speak with me. I just want to say to our viewers, hang on till the end because Julie has an exciting announcement that she will share. But to kind of kick us off, why don't you tell our viewers and listeners kind of your journey that has brought you to this point today?
Yeah, of course. No, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. And yeah, we had so much fun in Vegas at Apartmentalize and time flies. So I'm Julie Blanc, co-founder and CEO of Rentana. I had the opportunity to start this business with really the best engineers I've ever had the pleasure of working with over the past decade. My background is I went to Wharton undergrad, have always been interested in finance and real estate, personally have been an investor myself and dove right into venture capital, really get a taste of world-class engineering and all of the power of product and the power of what you can do with software. And so really have followed that all throughout my journey. Spent the last few years at a number of startups as well. That curiosity and that entrepreneurial bug really continued to follow me. And so when I had the opportunity to partner with early Airtable and Stripe engineers, I really couldn't say no. And I was so excited. One of our former clients was really looking for a new compliant revenue management system, a new way that you could really interact with your data in a compliant way, just given everything in the headlines. But also we were on the precipice of the way that, completely changing the way that we interact with data and information. And so it was sort of a perfect storm and everything came together. And we've been off to the races for the past 3 years building this and really making an impact.
Wow. And I love founder stories. And data is a hot topic. Revenue management is a hot topic. So I'm really looking forward to kind of diving into some questions with you and talking more today. So I always kick things off with future in a bottle questions. So what do you think are kind of the 3 top things you see changing in multifamily and PropTech in the next coming years and why?
Yeah, of course. I think it's very similar parallel to what we're all experiencing, right, in our personal lives as well. But first off, AI is shifting from a buzzword to really everyday utility. I think everyone can feel that decision fatigue, multiple systems, multiple details, and then we're in a more digital world than ever. So how can you actually have AI really help alleviate that, automate a lot of just small decisions, small tasks that are incredibly repetitive that really could be, right, automated. And now that we have systems that are not just only on a mainframe or only on a desktop, they actually can connect to the real world. This is becoming a lot more tangible and something that actually will provide efficiency and relief, but also just let everyone really focus time on the most strategic, the most sort of in-person, right, sort of service impact parts of the roles in the companies. And so I actually think it's going to be a really huge unlock. We've all spent time at the doctor's office and the doctor's just on the computer the whole time. And you're like, I'm trying to get care. So I can imagine, especially when we're delivering homes, right? We're delivering people's sanctuary and their, so their place of living. Like it's really important to just, continue to deliver that service. But obviously there's more and more demands on people, right? And so I think that these systems are actually going to really be able to provide that relief and actually help people provide that level of service. Yeah. I mean,
I started in leasing a really long time ago, and really we had fax machines at the time and overnight FedEx packages, but we really had time to serve. And I don't think the industry's intention was to make it so complicated that people didn't have time to serve. But the job did become increasingly administrative, especially even leasing consultants. You're in technology, you're in these applications, and you're getting packages and doing things that are really not that high level, Nordstrom experience, for lack of a better word. So I like your prediction.
Yeah. And for us, we're already seeing it with the pricing recommendations that our system is able to provide. It has that much more transparency, full English explanation, right? Sort of the AI, how we got there, what were all the variables we had to synthesize to get there. And for on-site teams, it's night and day, really. For every part of the organization, you don't need to be a data scientist to be able to explain the outcome of AI. And I think that's a huge unlock of actually being able to approach and use these tools.
Can we kind of lean into that with the explaining? I think, and I remember back when I was a regional property manager, a lot of times you're trying to get the leasing staff to buy into the pricing. Mm-hmm. So can you explain that explanation a little bit more? Because to me, that's actually opening opportunities to actually educate the workforce. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Totally. That's really one part of our big vision is how is your data that much more usable? How can not just a data scientist, right, actually be able to interact with this? How can you talk to your data, anyone within the organization with any level of context, and also have the computer, right, continue to explain more and more depending on how much context you'd like to get. But it's been really huge for change management. It's been huge for adoption and just success, right, of these tools, which I think is just another pattern for many tools in our space, not fully, sort of reaching their full impact. But yeah, we look at all of the supply and demand metrics. It's way more than you can do in a spreadsheet or manually. And obviously some people can get a lot of it if they have the time, but most people don't. And so we're able to actually contextualize that, really break it down. Exactly what were the variables? What were their weights? What was the explanation of how we ended up coming to this conclusion? What were the things that we actually did to get to this? Not only the English explanation of writing out the numbers and sort of how we got there, we accompany it with graphs as well. And so we'll show you those variables and how those trended over time, because we think our customers know their properties, they know their operations the best. And you could understand an anomaly in the data because there was an extreme weather, or there was some sort of, back to school or something seasonal, right? Or new Whole Foods down the street opening as well. Yeah. We want to bring all of that context together because, price is just one number. There's so much more that goes into it. And we try to really capture that for the audience.
That is awesome. I really like that. The education part, the collaborative part, it's still a conversation, right? You still are talking to asset management. You're still talking to operational leadership. Sometimes you're bringing in marketing. To have kind of a thoughtful why behind it would make for a more compelling and thoughtful conversation. I love that. Do you see work changing in multifamily in the next couple of years too, with any roles in particular, kind of with what you predict coming on the horizon?
I think there's going to be a level of, product, right, and data fluency that everyone is going to be expected to adopt. The best tools will help do that for the users. On-site teams and sort of teams that are really interacting with the end customer. We've always seen it with many of the clients that we work with. We really want them to be delivering that top experience and that top service, and really making sure that we, connect with those people. And everyone has to do a lot, and trying to deliver a physical product, a real world experience. We really want to enable that as much as we can.
Oh, totally. It's I always hear this term like simplification. I don't think the software is getting simpler. It's actually becoming more intelligent, right, with AI, but it's how you use it, or the person using it needs to have a simplified experience. The users on the property now are expecting that Amazon type experience, or where's my Domino's pizza right now, or my Uber Eats. So I hate to simplify it that much, but there's a lot going on behind the scenes, but the outcome is I can do my job better, faster, easier, and with more empowered decisioning. So I love that. Are there any PropTech solutions right now in the multifamily space that you think are underutilized, that you see on the forefront?
I think everyone talks about energy efficiency, right? And sort of really being able to optimize your usage of different, sort of aspects of the asset, but that obviously takes some installment, right? And just making sure that you have that. But I think when you do, you can really get all those benefits. So I think it's just rolling that out. We're still in the midst of living through that, but huge potential, really amazing. I think it really can optimize, a lot of resources. It also can give you insights into what residents really want, what residents are really using, and then you can double down, right, for the next development with that information as well. But I think those are amazing technologies. And I think also we're starting to see, right, EV charging at various assets as well. I think they're super in demand. You always want to be almost creating more because the people just keep buying more and more. Every car manufacturer is coming out with a model, right, too. So it's just more and more of those type of cars are going to be everywhere.
Oh, no, totally true. I like that one. Back on AI and machine learning. So, it's starting to become a standard. And at Apartmentalize, I think the term was like 35% of companies had growth in AI in the last year alone in property management, which to me is like, okay, yeah, like the belief is there, the trust is there. But what are some of the biggest challenges that you see in adopting new technologies in multifamily, especially around AI?
Even in my personal life, right? Do I trust, ChatGPT with everything I'm saying? It's not a private analyst, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's just something that's really critical in everything that you do. And so one of our big principles is your data is your data. It should never leave your instance. It should never go to another, party or customer or anyone in any format. Yeah. The models that we create, we even go so far as to create one model for each customer. So they're unique each time. And that's also to make sure that your data is not used to train any other customer's model in any format, not anonymized. That's not good enough. It needs to be like 100% private. And so I think that's just super important, and really making sure that operators are super clear with vendors. They read the T's and C's. They really push them. They push the technical team. They really need to make sure that they hear that time and time again, make sure it's written in the contract. It's super clear, because I just think that, if someone is using another technology and it's, sort of one or more steps removed, right, you start to lose control. And so I think it's just incredibly important to partner with people that help you keep that control, and then also let you really leverage the most of your data and do, the best with it, which I think that's also been something holding us back, is not having the right tools to really, get the most insights out of your data because you're scared. And so I think that's a little bit of a circular thing. And so just really finding, the right security, the right systems, and really being able to have that. So, I think that's one. And then, I really view AI as much more as an amplifier and a workflow partner. And I think that is becoming, more and more true a little bit as people are starting to use some of these tools in their personal lives and sort of see the magic aha moments. But it being a full blown, its own FTE, we're still very far away from that, So I think that those would be two hesitations.
Yeah. When you're rolling it out too, do you find that the challenges in adoption or friction in the challenges of adoption are really at the site level or more at asset management level? And then how do you kind of overcome that, especially in the use of AI and pricing?
It's all about the training. It's all about the deliverability, the training, really making sure the user feels empowered, the user feels heard, the user has access to the teams, and they can actually get answers, get support. And so we really try to be a thought partner with our customers. We're super customer centric. It's the central of, sort of everything that we do. It helps shape our roadmap, the features that they need. We really are constantly listening and putting that back into the product so that ultimately we're really delivering something that delivers value right away and also can continue to deliver value.
Any case studies that you want to share, even if you have to anonymize it for your customer?
We're super excited to announce one of our case studies with our partner, 29th Street. They are an incredible partner out of Chicago. We actually went through a really intense and sort of really thorough and diligent process with them. They looked at 8 different platforms, really, looked at all the pros and cons, ultimately selected us and then a well-known competitor as well. And we really did a head-to-head. And so that was all about the performance of the platform, seeing it in the real world. It was over an entire quarter as well. And we ended up delivering 4.6 million more in added property value, which was about 1.5 times the other group of assets that were in the pilot. And then also 3.5% higher NRI as well. And so really excited about, we can be excited about a product all we want, but it's all about the customers, the impact, and really helping them achieve their goals, right? That's really what it's all about.
We are in an incredibly challenging time when it comes to cost creep, NOI compression, financial market. Like there's so much going on right now in multifamily that's really not going multifamily's way. So you finding value, really hidden value, right? That was there for the picking with AI to harness that. That's an amazing outcome. So congratulations. And congrats to 29th Street too. So that's huge.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to move into a couple rapid fire rounds of questions. Are there any prop tech trends that you think are overhyped right now?
Yeah. I think this had good intentions and maybe was super exciting, but I haven't really heard much about it since. But crowdfunding for investments in properties, I think there's a lot of great fintech products that are actually touching our space. But I would say that one, it's hard to fractionalize, hard to, all have the same strategy, really articulate and make sure that the end user actually gets the impact that they want. And ultimately, I haven't seen any of those platforms really take off. So
they did kind of come in hot and heavy for a while. I was even getting Instagram ads. Do you want to invest $10,000? And I'm like, what is this? So they've gotten real quiet. That is for sure. So I think I can align with that one. Any bold predictions for multifamily in like the next 5 to 10 years? Something that seems like outer space right now.
Yeah, I mean, I love dreaming about the future and sort of constantly being there. As we have more and more connected systems, as we have more data about obviously the preferences, right, the actual usage, I think you can say, I want a pool and the pool's never used, right? Or I want a tennis court and then it's, stands empty and it's a lot of real estate. And so I think that AI is actually going to be shaping a lot of architectural decisions and architectural choices, and also, just bringing in, right, sort of new elements of design in a cost efficient way as well. And so I actually think we'll see buildings not just, designed, sort of by the humans, but also right in concert with AI as well. And I think they'll really surprise us.
Yeah, it's going to make things that were once hard to manage very manageable, because you'll know exactly what's going on too. So I think robots come to mind too.
Yes.
Like all of a sudden, everything's robots. And then that one kind of creeps me out, but at the same time, I'm fascinated by it. Do you think we'll see robots as well in multifamily more?
Yeah, I think we'll see it in all parts of, where there's hospitality, right, and support and service. I think you'll actually see it in hotels, right, as well. I hope they're really friendly. And, that's what I think is important, is that I think it can be too far, some of the humanoid ones that are a little bit off-putting visually. So
one that dances better than I do. That one, I saw a video the other day. I'm like, that one's had better moves than me, for sure. I would like a hot meal in my hotel room from a nice hot oven robot that comes to the door. That would be good. If you could instantly implement any futuristic technology into multifamily today, what would it be?
That full scale energy adoption. I think there's a lot of tools and systems that need to be upgraded and installed to actually get the full potential of those platforms. And so I'd love to let's fast forward, right? Have all of that installed, have the sensors installed, have the HVAC and sort of smart meters and whatnot all sort of upgraded. And then let's live in the future and let's be there and let's optimize and let's sort of really be able to use the full power of that technology. I think there's a lot of still friction to get there today, obviously in cost. And so I would love for that to just be that much more approachable.
It's like getting to the clear return on investment so it doesn't feel like a cost, right? That's the challenge, and the upfront hardware when these deals are being put together. That's really good insights. 2 more questions for you, and they're related. So we've got people on revenue management organizations, and then we have organizations. There's still, like, when you look at market penetration for revenue management, there's still a ton of opportunity. So kind of twofold question. First, for those that have never used revenue management and maybe they're starting to think about it, what's a good way for them to kind of start to look at it and start to have trust in it? What are some of the best practices that you see out there?
Yeah, of course. If you've never used it before, there's a number of things, you optimize what you see, you optimize what you measure, right, and what you're paying attention to. And so I think that starting to adopt this practice already itself gives you a lift. But I would say, look at how often you're doing pricing reviews. How often are you updating the price? If you're updating the price once a month, are you really listening to all the signals in the market? If you're updating every week, you're probably closer towards that, right, as well. And so really, what is that cadence for you to make sure that you get those back to schoolers, you get the people, sort of going on vacation at the right time, or you're in the heat, sort of the summer in Chicago versus renting in the winter in Chicago, right? And so how do you just start to look at what are your markets? What are the core seasonal trends? Are you actually starting to really do that and sort of optimize for that? Next fold would be, are you implementing any lease expiration management? Are you giving everybody the same terms? Have you thought about that? How have you, looked at your portfolio? And then also, how is your market changing? Maybe your renewals are really soft. Maybe they're stronger than, sort of other years. How do you think through balancing that and actually making sure that you're, again, looking at demand and looking at those signals? And then, if you're wanting to start with a few buildings, right? Look at a platform that really helps you explain and understand exactly how the algorithm is getting there. What is your data telling you? What can you actually see in that information? And then get comfortable with that. And then obviously, implement more and more. But I think you definitely miss out when there's peak times in the year and you're not optimizing for that. And you can actually have, sort of some conditions that end up really hurting you for years to come when really you had an opportunity. That's where revenue management, this is a super common practice in airlines, in hotels, in ride sharing. But with rentals, and for multifamily, we have once, right? We have once every 12 months or give or take, right? That you have to optimize this, and it's really impactful. So it's really important that you get that right.
It totally is. And then for those that are currently using it and maybe looking at the landscape and options, any best practices to take a look at there and differentiation?
Yeah, of course. How much are you wrestling with the tools? How much is the tool really, sort of supporting you and actually giving you time back and actually helping you sort of with results and with that, sort of adoption with the team? Is the tool getting stuck at various parts of the organization because it's too hard to understand? Are you having to pay for a consultant to help understand it, which is really another extension of your team? Or is the tool actually giving you, right, that ROI and that impact? I think that's just important to look at to make sure, even for any type of technology, right, that you're really getting the best out of it. And also it's really putting your organization in a point where you're not just talking about the software and the little ins and outs, but you're actually talking about your strategy, right? Are your discussions around price really strategic, or are you sort of more wrestling with what are the outputs of a black box that you don't get any insights from?
No, that's actually really good insights too. And I know we talked about your case study already. Any other announcements or upcoming conferences? I'm getting ready to go to Blueprint and then PropTech this year. How about you? Any other?
Yes. Yeah. No, we're super excited. I mean, coming off the heels of our $5 million fundraise from Zig Capital and Bench Strength here in New York City, we feel like we're just getting started and we're really off to the races. We'll be doing a full webinar as well as part of our case study and sort of showing, showcasing Robert's experience with the platform. So very excited about that to come. And then we'll be at Blueprint. They're an incredible group. I've been a fan for many years, and so excited to be there again this year.
Awesome. Well, I will see you there, and I'm going to have to attend this webinar. I'm really looking forward to it. We can put links to everything when we put the episode up, and make sure everybody can get that information and join as well. So I thoroughly enjoyed our chat today, Julie. Thank you so much for saying yes and joining me on the podcast.
Of course. No, thank you so much for having me. This has been an honor.
Awesome. Have a good one.
Thank you.
And that wraps up another episode of PropTech Pulse. I hope this conversation has given you valuable insights and perhaps even sparked some ideas for your own PropTech journey. Remember, the future of multifamily is being written right now with every technological advance and innovative solution. So stay curious, stay connected, and keep your finger on the pulse of PropTech. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to PropTech Pulse on your favorite podcast platform and share this along with your colleagues. You can also find us on social media for bite-sized insights and updates. I'm Shelly Robinson, and until next time, let's keep innovating, disrupting, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible in PropTech and multifamily. Let's build it together.